Today here it's all about patient consent. Consent to treatment means a person must give permission before they receive any type of medical treatment, test, or physical investigation. Basically, it's the patient's permission to the medical team before any procedure is done in the hospital. For example, when you pull up your sleeve for the phlebotomist to get blood, that's already consenting. A consent form is therefore a legal document signed by two or more parties to confirm an agreement with an action and its consequences. There are 4 rules for a consent form. It must be informed. It must be given for a specific purpose. All the reasons for processing must be clearly stated. It is explicit and given via positive act, for example, signatures on the form. Requirement for obtaining a valid consent includes 4 other criteria that must be met. The first one, the patient giving the consent must have capacity. The consent must be given freely. The consent must be sufficiently specific to the procedure or treatment proposed. And the first one is the consent must be informed. Informed consent is therefore a requirement for various procedures like surgical procedures, medical tests, and some medical examinations. Informed consent is basically a legal and ethical agreement. This is because it's a fundamental principle of medical ethics, reflecting the medical autonomy and right to make decisions about what happens or is done to their bodies. Who then can give consent for a patient to have a procedure? If the patient is able to consent, it is usually given by themselves. But someone with parental responsibility, like a mother, may give consent for a child of the age of 16 and below in the UK, that is, to have treatment, or in a situation where a patient is over 16 years and they are not capable of giving the consent. A child who is considered as having capacity of ages 16 and below will be allowed to sign their own consent to treatment, test, or procedure. If you believe you've had a procedure done in hospital which you never consented for, you should feel free to make an official complaint. But remember, the consent must be informed. You should not be coerced to sign it, and you should know everything. You are allowed to ask questions, and above all, it's your right to refuse or to go ahead with the procedure.